Hey guys, my name is Tim. I'm the master mechanic at Zeiten BMW Mobile Services, and today in this video we're going to show you how to replace the brake pads on this 2010 BMW X5 with the xDrive 30i. It's a naturally aspirated 3-liter engine. The front brakes are the same, I think, on all of the X5s, but the earlier models 2007 and 8 might have a little bit of a difference, but the structure, the way you change the pads is exactly the same. So we'll start out by jacking the car up and putting it on a jack stand. So what I usually do, doesn't matter if it's X5 or, like, let's say 3 Series, 1 Series, rear wheel drive or all wheel drive, we definitely, with the BMWs, raise the whole front, put it on the jack stands, and replace the brake pads. And what else you need to know is you will have one brake pad wear sensor in the front. It's gonna be on the driver's side, and one brake pad wear sensor in the back that's gonna be on the passenger side. It's not like every wheel will have that. Only one in the back, one in the front. Every single BMW will have the same, one sensor in front and one in the back. So let's get to it by jacking the car up. So where you want to go here, there is this metal piece right here. This is the jacking point. So there you go. Jack stands. You want to put them right here. There is a special pad. It should be here, this rubber pad, and you usually put the jack stand like that, but because I don't have it, we're gonna use the same spot because it's a solid metal here, and put it just like that. To show you this rubber pad, let's go to the back. That is how it looks like, and this is where the jack stand goes. Before you jack the car up, just make sure you loosen all the nuts of the wheel. It's a 17mm, because when you raise it, it's gonna spin unless you have impact. But to be honest, I already loosened the nuts before. So we're gonna take the wheel off, and I'm gonna show you how to replace the pads there on this side, driver's side, because it has a sensor in there. The other side is exactly the same, but it's simpler because it doesn't have the sensor in there. Also, the other thing, if your wheel gets stuck, so if you see I took it off pretty easily, there is only those 5 bolts in there that holds the wheel, nothing else. And if it gets stuck, you just have to hit it on the sides, usually with a leg like that, and then it will come out. The big advantage to have the whole front raised up is the ability to move the wheel in the direction you need it. So I'll just move it like that, so, well, first of all, so we can film it properly, and the second, it will allow the drill go here, and it's way more room in the back, so you can see clearly everything right here. So what we're gonna start with is removing this spring. The way to do that, I usually do, it's we get the screwdriver, move it, and there you go. Out. Then in the back we have those little caps covering the and right here we have 7mm Allen, just 2 bolts. Loosen them. One at the top, one at the bottom. And before you take them off completely, I would like to press the caliper as much as I can so it gets a little bit free. And now we can fully take those bolts out. You don't need to completely remove them, just make sure they're not touching anything and they're out of the way. And now we can take this cap off. Here's where the sensor goes. And as you can see, you need to press a little bit more just to let it go. And that's all it is. Here's the sensor. As you can see, the sensor is already grinded a bit. I have like 1300 miles left on these pads by the computer, but it's time to go. We're definitely gonna replace the sensor. Every time you change the pads, change the sensor. The next thing you're gonna do is to press the piston back in place, just using this simple clamp. That's it. And now we can remove this pad. Clean it up, remove the other pad, and let me get the new pads with the sensor. The brake pads we're going to use today are Akebono. Right there. Akebono. Those are pretty good pads. We also often use Jurid and Techstar. Jurid and Techstars are OEM brake pads for the BMWs. Like at some years it was Jurid, at some years it was Techstar. But in my experience, Techstars are more dusty and Jurids are less dusty and they cheaper than Techstars. Akebono, well, they're not dusty, they're quiet, they pretty much the same amount of money as Jurid. I'm just gonna try the Akebono on my own car now. First thing we're gonna do, so this is the brake pad that goes into the piston. There's a spring there. You might want to just compress it a little bit with your hands just to make it easier to put it on. And then after that we have a new brake pad wear sensor. So what I usually do is straighten it out, then I'll put it through the caliper. This is where it's supposed to be, and install it into the pad. Let me show you how it's done. Don't break it, be very gentle. And then after that we can put this brake pad into the caliper now. Just push it straight forward. And there you go. Now the second pad is going to be flat like that. Just put it right there. So the next thing, make sure those pins are all the way out and nothing sticking out in here. So no threads, just clean. You don't need to remove them. If you want to, you can remove them and lubricate them. Press the caliper and now push the pins. You'll feel it when it reaches the thread, and now you can that's it. All the way in. So this part is done. We'll put the caps back on. And now we can put the spring back on. Let me turn it around so you can see better. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this piece right here in the hole first, just like that. So then this part presses against the metal part that holds the caliper, and then holding one side and the other, you have hold this one against this metal part, so it's a spring type, and then you just push it. There you go, sits in place. After that, there you go. I left the old sensor. I just disconnected it, as you remember, from the brake pad. So we're gonna route it exactly the same way. It's gonna be easier for you. First, put this in here, and then you take the old sensor out of the connector. Well, I mean the brackets. Put the new one in. This way you won't forget where it was, how it was routed. The other one is right there. So probably you can shoot from here. Right there. Just follow the wire. That's the best way to do it. Alrighty, and then we have this little box here. Press and release, take it off, and put the new sensor in. That's all for this side. Let me replace the other side real quick, and I'll show you what to do next after that for the front. Important thing, if you guys look right here, you see something dripping now. That's your brake fluid. When you push the piston back in, it pushes the fluid out. So what it tells me, most likely, I have never changed the brakes on this car, so when I bought it approximately a year and a half ago, they probably filled out the brake fluid and the brake pads were already halfway there, so they filled it up and it's too much, and excessive fluid comes out. It's not a big deal. There's nothing wrong with it. Just after brake pads replacement in the front, if you do all four or just the front, what you gotta do is replace the front pads, pump the brakes, I'll show you how right now, and then replace the back brakes. This way you can save some fluid, and there's less chance of getting air in the system, even though the air in the system is like really critically low chance of getting that. when you do change the brake pads, you don't have to bleed the brake system. You don't have to change the fluid. You don't have to do anything else. Just this. If someone tells you otherwise, that's not true. So after you change the brake pads, just without starting the car, you can get inside and pump the brake pedal just like that. It goes all the way down and back, and then just do it multiple times. It's hard now, so just start the car and do it again, and that's it. To reset the service intervals on this X5, all you need to do is put the key in, press it one time, all the lights come on, everything right there. Just wait till you see the time, and now you press this button and hold it on the dashboard. The triangle shows, and that's it. After that, you just press well, actually, let's do it again. Hold it. Here's the front pads. Hold it, reset, and hold it again. That's reset, and then go to the next one. It's brake fluid, oil change, rear pads. Hold it, reset. That's it. And here's the video how to change the front brake pads. This is it. We'll go to the rear pads now. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.